Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel today for another video on Gran Turismo Sport. We're back with another Daily Race A. This video is a little bit shorter than normal. Decided to jump on Daily Race A to see if we could get some content for the separate video that I'm working on at the moment. And yeah, I managed to get a really enjoyable race. So I thought, why not? Let's get this uploaded to the channel. It's a little bit shorter than we normally upload. But yeah, if you do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. So starting from the back of the grid, we have not set a qualifying time. Let's see how we get along here. Putting traction control onto level 1 obviously from the start, just to give ourselves a little bit of grip off the traction zone. And now into turn 1, it looks like we're going to have to go wide here because the inside line is pretty covered. So I decided to go quite wide through into turn 1. Very risky doing this because you normally get punted off, but luckily here we do nearly get squeezed off the track, but I just about managed to keep the car on the track and we managed to gain 2 positions there. So straight away up to P9 through turn 1. Now we're going into turn 2, braking nice and early. You look how I braked really early there because in general when you come on lap 1 through these sections, you find the cars all group up and people are hitting each other, so decided to take that quite easy. However, through here, taking that nice smooth line, I'm in the older Porsche, which is very tricky to drive. Managed to see an opportunity up the inside here, and I can see the other Porsches on our right hand side there. He runs a little bit wide, we take the inside line, and then we give them space on the outside, and we've gained another 2 positions. So a very nice opening few corners for myself there, up into P7, and now we're going into the very slow chicane where in general everything just bunches up together. So we brake nice and early down to second gear. We see that it all clogs up in front of us. The white Porsche just knocks into the red one ever so slightly there. We take this corner really wide just in case there's a free wide situation, which there was, and that just gives me a little bit of space to get through the corner, and we're up into P6. So just over halfway through the lap and we've gained quite a few positions. Now we're going through the final sector now and see if we can catch up this little group of cars here. We've got 3 cars battling there for P3 already. We're in the hunt for P3 in this race and we haven't even completed a lap. So taking a nice smooth line through here. I always try and get into third gear before you get on the exit of that corner. It just helps. In the older Porsche, it helps with traction and gives you a nice run down this straight. And this is where the older Porsche comes into its own with its straight line speed and acceleration. So we're going to go to the right hand side now. We see the opportunity to get the slipstream of the car up ahead, and the white Porsche has just been left to dry there on the left hand side, and he actually goes to turn in a little bit early, just slight misses it. So now we're going to see if we can send it Daniel Ricciardo style down the inside. We're going to have to go down to first gear to try and rotate it into the apex and absolutely pull off an immensely good overtake. I was really happy with that, taking all them cars there and putting myself up to P3. So let's take a little look at that overtake that put us up to P3. You can see from this view how heavy we were on the brakes. You'll see the car pitching forward on the brakes. So watch the front of the car pitch forward there on the brakes. We're aggressively on the brakes, and then you see that little downshift to first gear just to rotate it into the apex, and we pull off an absolutely perfect move there, giving space, no contact, and up into P3. So we're in a podium position and only just over 1 lap completed. So couldn't be going any better really this race so far. Now we've got to try and do a nice smooth second lap here, lap 2, because we've got a bit of a gap to P1 and P2. So try and keep it nice and smooth through here. 4th gear is really nice for if you just try not to overdrive it, because if you overdrive the old-fashioned Porsche, you do tend to find you lose time, because this car, it likes to be driven smooth because it's so sketchy. You know, slightly aggressive and you'll be drifting through some of these corners. So now into the next braking zone. Now we were in the slipstream and I didn't take effect for this. You see I braked just before the Dunlop board above our head there. However, that was a little bit too late. You can see just managing to rotate it though in time and managing to tidy it up quite well there, considering we braked a little bit too late, and we're still in the hunt to try and get P1 in this Daily Race A from the back of the grid. Are we going to be able to do it? It's going to be a close one. We've got 2 drivers up in front, but the advantage we've got here is the 2 drivers in front are in the newer Porsche, which is easier to drive. However, it does not have as good acceleration as the older Porsche. So we're in a good position to try and go for some moves here as we go onto the straight. You see, trying to break the slipstream to P2. I'm not going to be overly fussed in trying to get straight back into that slipstream. I try and do it nice and smoothly just to keep the acceleration going nice and smooth. And now we've got that slipstream going over the start finishing line now to complete lap 2, and we're starting lap 3 now with a purple sector there. Considering we had that big mistake as well on that lap would have been quite a good one. So braking again, we're going to brake super late here, and we actually managed to do another Daniel Ricciardo move, sending it up the inside, holding it tight to the apex, and we both get through the corner. You see we give the red car on the outside the space, and we're up into P2 with another very nice move into turn 1. That was a brave one. It was a late send, but I decided, you know what, we're going to send it today, and now we're going to be putting P1 under some pressure to see if we can take the win in this 4-lap sprint race from the back of the grid. I did enjoy doing this race, I have to say. We did have quite a chaotic one before this, though, that will be featured in another video that we're working on. So that was another one to be put into the content pile for that video. But now we're going to see if we can attack P1. You can see on the exit there, we get a much better acceleration than this older Porsche. So we're going to try and do a cut back here. He sees us going for that, and he defends quite late. So I have to go to the left, and we end up bump drafting him a bit there. So yeah, we're not going to be able to go for a move into the chicane up here. So taking a nice tight line there, just because I saw P3 could have been looking to go for a move. So defended that just in case he thought of sending it. And now we're into this very tricky section. This is a section that's very tricky in the older Porsche because obviously the car's a bit sketchy in the lower gear. So staying in third gear through here, you don't really want to go in second gear. You can pretty much stay in third gear all the way through it. You can go into second gear for this corner, but I tend to normally just go a little brief second shift and then upshift before you get on the power on the exit, just to help the rotation really. This corner again, down to second again, and then upshift before you get into the straight of the corner. It just gives you a smoother exit coming out of that corner. So now we're going to get that slipstream again from P1, and we're going to see if we can go for a move on the final lap. It looks like it's going to be done into turn 1. This is pretty much one of the last opportunities we've got. There's one more opportunity if we don't make it this time. He goes defensive on the right side. Now I expected him to go back to the left, so I tried my fake. He was not falling for that. He must watch our videos. So stayed over to the left, and now we're going to brake a bit earlier than normal and take a really wide line in because I know that he's on the narrow there, and we do a lovely cut back here and onto the power nice and early, and we've got the better acceleration coming out of that corner, and we've managed to put ourselves up into P1 in this daily race A from the back of the grid. Enjoyable race, I have to say. Last time this was on, I really enjoyed this combination, and once you get the hang of this car, it is so much fun. The older Porsche, I really recommend people spend a bit of time trying to get used to this older Porsche because it's such a fun car when you master it. But it is tricky. It will try and spin you out like you've seen then, drifting out of that corner. It will try and get you at any opportunity. So now again, we're going to have to go defensive up here. But I don't know what he did. I think he tried to do an undercut and just ended up bump drafting me like I did to him. And now we've got a bit of a gap into the braking zone. So I don't have to go ultra defensive. I just plant the car in the middle of the track here, and then just make sure that we get the car into the apex there. And again, he's not going to be in a position to go for a move now. So again, onto the power nice and early, upshift to third gear, and we've created a bit of a gap there to P2, and we're just going to have to try and keep it nice and smooth through the remaining corners. So again, through here, you can see how it's very twitchy, but there's something about this car, the way it is twitchy, that I kind of enjoy driving. It makes you stay on edge. It makes you keep like 100% concentration. And I kind of find that enjoyable with this car. So yeah, really just give it a go, try it out, try and master it, and this car will be the better car for you for this race because it can overtake a lot easier than the newer Porsche GT3 car. So now we're working our way down the straight with that extra straight line speed, and this is going to be a nice easy victory because P2 isn't going to be able to fight us back. So a great win there from the back of the grid, thoroughly enjoyed. Let's take a look at that lap 1 from the chase camera because that was quite an eventful lap. So starting the race from the back of the grid, we do have the other Porsche that's just on our right hand side there now, and then we're going into turn 1, and you can see I was going to go to the inside here, decided right, that looks too congested, so I decided to stay very wide here and just try and work our way around the outside. It all congests up, we nearly get squeezed off here, we get very lucky and just about staying on the track. We give that car rejoining the track enough space as we could there, and that was 2 places gained straight away. And then into this corner, you're going to see turn 2, I brake a little bit early than the rest of everyone, than pretty much anyone else, because I'm prepared for cars to build up, and you know, we don't want to be getting any penalties or anything like that. And then through here, keeping the car very smooth. You can almost see how it's drifting ever so slightly through the corners. That is the way this car drives. And then into the braking zone, we see an opportunity again where the red Porsche in front of us braked a bit late, up the inside there, and another 2 positions gained. So that was a really nice opening few corners. Now we're going to work our way into the chicane, which tends to build up a bit of chaos. So again, we brake quite early here. You see braking very early actually there, and you see the red Porsche and the white Porsche just coming together slightly there. We take the inside line, and then we give a lot of space on the left hand side because just in case that red Porsche gets hit by or squeezed, which nearly happened there, luckily we managed to save that, and that was again another few positions gained. So pretty nice opening lap there, and now we're going to be pushing on to see if we can catch that group that we know we did that really good overtake on. So let's have a watch of this overtake and how it panned out from the chase camera. You're going to see how late we braked and how we did that first gear rotation. So through this corner, I could have gone a bit wider through there, but I decided just to take the normal racing line up into third gear nice and early and accelerating out, and then just getting in that slipstream, and then let the car do the work at this phase, because this is where the older Porsche is so much stronger than the other. So you see the white Porsche, for some reason, stays to the left there, and I take the opportunity to stay to the right because I can see which way they're going to be defending for this corner. So it was obvious they were going to go to the right hand side. So we managed to get in that slipstream. We stayed to the right here, and we actually managed to brake really. Look how late we braked compared to the black Porsche there, and then that little first gear downshift just to rotate the car into the apex, almost drifting slightly, and then on the power ever so nicely there and smoothly. And then we went for that next late lunge on the other red Porsche in front of us here. Again, this was a late one. This was probably a little bit optimistic, but I thought, do you know what, we're going to send it. We want that P1. And you can see I came off the brakes ever so slightly. I was still on the brake, but just fed it off a little bit just to get the car on the apex. And again, an aggressive move, but I think that was a fair move to put ourselves up into P2. And then the final move, this one, I expected him to fall for my fake. He was very wise to it. He's obviously been watching our content. He didn't fall for it. He stayed to the right side, and then we had to brake nice and early. I braked quite early that time. He was on the inside, decided to do a cut back here, and you see on the power, really nice and early there, and do a very nice undercut to put ourselves up into P1. So that's how that race worked out. I hope you lot enjoyed it. Remember, if you did enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me, and let me know in the comment section what you thought about this. I'll be seeing you all soon for more live content and more videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone.